be alarmed, Mr. Camarena. You're among good friends. He's gonna have a talk, okay?
Headlock. Daniel, Enrique. Hey, stop it. What time is Dad coming home?
Soon, I guess. He didn't say for sure.
Did he go to San Diego?
No.
When are we going?
3 weeks. You're going to like being back there.
Yeah, the Chargers. You know, we're gonna fix the Mustang up and trick it out.
We'll be closer to Grandma.
Yo, Mika. Wait a minute. He didn't meet you for lunch? No, well, he's probably in Colima with Federales. Look, I tell you what, I'll call you as soon as I find out something. Right. Tony, yeah, it's me. Kiki never made home last night. So you never leave it like this. I mean, this just ain't like Kiki. Come on, let's make some phone call.
I'll start asking around, but I don't think it's time to press any alarm buttons. If he hasn't shown up by this afternoon, we'll think about doing that then.
Thank you, Charles.
This is Jack Lawn.
Harley Steinmetzer's. It appears that Kiki Camarena has been grabbed.
What?
Well, we know he's gone, Mr. Lawn. We don't know who grabbed him. It could have been anybody. Sir, the reason I am calling you direct is because I can't afford to sit around and wait for an answer from Mexico City.
It's definitely a situation. Don't wait. Make whatever moves you can. Excuse me, gentlemen. Jimmy, let's go.
¿A dónde fue Comandante Valdez?
Colima, señor.
With everybody? Todos los federales?
Sí, todos se fueron.
You went to the state police?
Yeah. Gracias. Can you believe this?
No.
I don't know what the hell's going on, Harley. I don't see one police car.
ซึ่งทำให้คิดว่าตนเองสามารถที่อยู่ในราชอาณาจักร
Turn it down, will you?
ได้
Now what?
เช่นเดียวกับคนไทยทั่วไป
How long?
การจะผ่อนผันก็
Yes. What's going on? Where the hell are you going? Greg, I'll call you from the car, Peter. I gotta go.
Hey, man, take it easy. Man, cool out.
Okay, it looks like we got at least a kilo here. This stuff looks high grade, too.
We've got it.
Greg, someone grab Kiki Camarena in Guadalajara.
Daddy.
You gonna help Daddy pack, honey?
Why do you have to go?
Because a good friend of ours is lost. Daddy's gonna try real hard to help find him.
Jack, if the airlines are booked, can you get me down to Guadalajara military? I
don't want you down in Guadalajara. You don't know Guadalajara. I need you here with me and
Jack, Harley and I worked together in Thailand.
Jack, the random frequency scramblers are matched up. 24 hours secured open line to Guadalajara. And you call to Mrs. Camarena's on 3.
Thanks, Tony. Mrs. Camarena, this is Jack Lawn. I want you to know we're on the case and there's not a thing we won't do to find a
Situation room. Oh, yeah. Hey, Mike. No, it's been 15 hours at least. Nothing.
Will Daddy be home tomorrow?
We'll see, darling.
Dad could always take care of himself.
Now, I want both of you to go to sleep. There's school tomorrow.
Probably just up in the hills, busting some traffickers, that's all.
You got that straight.
Good night, Harley.
Night, Ricky.
Kids in bed? How about some coffee?
Sure.
Oh, Ricky seemed to be in pretty good shape.
He wants me to think that.
You could send them to Calexico to be with their grandmother.
The family should be together. They've got plans to fix that beat-up Mustang.
I could barely get Harley to change the oil in my car.
You know, I'm going to tell you something, Mika. We're going to find him, and I don't care if we have to break down every damn door in Guadalajara to do it. We are going to do it.
I remember watching those hostage families that would be in the news. Someone they loved had been taken away from them. Now I know how they must have felt. Waiting.
Coppers and traffickers hang out here. Come on. This place is usually crowded. Where the hell is everybody? Where the hell is everybody?
No sé nada.
Where the hell is everybody?
No sé.
¿Dónde está todo el mundo? ¿Dónde está todo el mundo?
Que no sé.
¿Dónde está todo el mundo?
Harley.
What the hell is going on here?
We got 5 agents coming in tonight, Harley.
How'd you get here so fast?
Okay, military. Harley. Master just called. They won't let him come back. So what we got?
Well, we got the members of the cartel. They're all possible suspects. But then on the other hand, it could have been some hot dog off the street, you know, they had it in for Kiki. Hopefully it's the latter, because I'll tell you something. You're going to be a lot better off if he's in the hands of some amateurs.
You got security from Mika and the kids?
Yeah, we do. We got consulate security, but that's a good point. I'll tell you something. From now on, that's going to be your job, all right? Now, I want a 24-hour surveillance on the house. I want a close watch on everyone in the family, and I don't want anyone going outside by themselves. I don't want them to be alone.
All right, this kid needs to see you. Says he knows you.
Yeah, it's Jose, Zavala's son. What's up, kid?
My father is missing, Harley.
What?
We thought maybe he had his life, but then we were told some man pushed him into a car at the airport and took him away.
When?
Yesterday.
Okay, listen, Jose, we're going to find your dad, all right? Kiki's missing too, and we're going to look for them both. Now, listen, I want you to go home, and I want you to take care of your mom. And I'll call you as soon as I hear something.
Okay.
That's right.
Carson's here. Hey, Harley, anything? Yeah. Hang on. Hey, everybody shut up. Hang on a second. Quiet down. Yeah.
We got some bad news on this end. Another man has been kidnapped at the same time.
Zavala, he's the pilot that flew Kiki over Zaragoza. Ray, listen.
For it to be two of them means it was a planned operation. It means that Kiki and Zavala are in the hands of the traffickers. Now listen, it's been 33 hours. There's been no note, no demand, no negotiations, no nothing. Ray, they coordinated in abducting an American agent off the streets in broad daylight.
Dad? What do they make Bondo out of? Do we have to stay in the whole car? Well, it says 135R by 13. What does the R mean? Huh?
Yes, sir. Right. I'll get back to you on that.
Good morning.
Mr. Mullen's in his office too, Jack.
Thanks a lot, Tony.
Okay.
Portago Diaz.
Yes, Mr. Portago. Listen, sir, it seems that our officers in Guadalajara went directly to the Federales and the Jalisco State Police as soon as they realized that the agent was missing. But it sounds like all of Jalisco was out of town at the same time, at a policeman's convention or something.
Well, the criminals in Jalisco keep the police very busy. You weren't able to contact anyone?
No, sir, we haven't received any acknowledgement, no communication, nothing whatsoever from the local authorities, nothing.
That's scandalous. I'll investigate and demand the full report, Senor Mullen.
But I'll do that later. The most important thing is to get you the help you need.
And get it immediately.
Mr. Portago, we're working against the clock here, so at this point we need support.
It's on the way. We will do everything possible to find your missing officer and punish those responsible.
Thank you, Mr. Portago. I knew that we can depend on you. Thank you very much. Bueno.
Right.
Marines have landed.
All right, I'll call you right back.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Mexico's finest. Check it out.
El señor Steinmetz, por favor.
Howdy. Harley Steinmetz, resident aide in charge, Guadalajara.
Mucho gusto. En primer comandante Armando Pavón Reyes, oficiales. These are my officers. Lieutenant Gomez, Lieutenant Espinosa, Lieutenant Ayala.
That's Pleasure to meet you, gentlemen. Here, I'd like you to meet my men.
We have come from Mexico City on the personal orders of Portago Diaz, the counselor of our cabinet, in response to your director Mullen, to work with our American friends, to do everything possible, todo lo posible, to rescue Enrique Camarena.
Well, all right. Well, why don't we go to my office and we'll talk about it? I know my men are just in much a hurry as you are. Just as you know, the first 72 hours of a disappearance are pretty crucial, and Camarena's been gone 48 hours.
We will need help with transportation. We have only the 2 trucks that brought us here.
All right, let's check with the rental agencies, get us 10 or 15 cars, all
Y
right?
los radios. Señores, this is not Washington, D.C.
Right, it sure is. And I tell you what, check with the embassy, see if you can get us some spare radios. That's transportation, that's radios, all right? Now, we got a list of the traffickers' addresses. What I'd like to be doing is about kicking down some doors in about 45 minutes. How about you? All right. All right, we just intercepted a radio transmission. Felix Gallardo has apparently ordered a huge shipment of cash sent to the airport.
Right. Gentlemen, it's not a crime in Mexico to take money to an airport.
Felix Gallardo is a major drug trafficker, all right? Now, we got the tail numbers of his airplanes. 2 and 2, I don't know, they add up. It seems to me there's something big going down at the airport.
But we have no authority for this.
Why don't you get some? And then you got a date at the airport.
Are you giving me orders?
No, I'm not. I'm just asking you as politely as I can to give us some help.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
You too. Keep an eye on that gentleman, will you? I'm gonna get us some real help. Where have you been?
I took the train.
What the hell do you mean you took the train?
There were complications.
What complications? No. Kiki has been snatched and you take the train. I don't understand.
I'm here now.
Well, you know, I'd like to know there were 4 guys in Mexico City here before you.
Tony, come on, huh?
Harley, George, brief me on the situation.
It's awfully good to see you. And, Tony, would you brief George on the situation? I'm on my way out. Glad to do it.
Follow me, sir.
Comandante.
Güey. Buenos días, amigo mío. What can I do for you?
Well, I need your help.
You don't try it, no?
Yes. Well, they've assigned me Pavon Reyes, and Pavon Reyes is a joke. With him leading this rescue attempt, the whole thing's going to turn into a mountain of marshmallow.
Who knows whose man he is? Well, who knows whose man anybody is right now?
Well, you're your own man, and that's why I'm asking you for your help.
You'll run into politics, Harley. Mexico City and the politics is what I am out to pasture. They do not miss me. Portago Diaz hates my guts.
Why?
Because I won't dance to that kind of music. That's why.
Well, we got to find Kiki now, or it's going to be never. You know, it's coming down to days and hours, minutes.
I have lost men, too. Good cops. I see their faces in my dreams. I wish I could bring them back. I wish I could help you save Kiki. And the 2 of us and my commandos could go kick some ass like we used to, huh? In Mexico City, even if I beg on my hands and knees, wouldn't let me go back to work. No, senor. Buena suerte, Harley.
¡Trucha! ¡No sean tontos! Este avión no vuela hasta que bajen las armas y presenten documentos. Déjenme ver sus papeles. ¡Véngase a platicar! ¿Qué platicar? Ahí está. Este es el último aviso. Estoy cansado de este juego. Pásele si gusta. Ahí está adentro.
This plane's not going anywhere till we know who's on it, right?
Don't worry, amigo. Shoot out the wheels if necessary. Senora, you will have to wait while my men and I investigate. Ubicación, por favor.
¡Ojo! ¡Póngase trucha! ¡Póngase trucha!
So what's happening?
I don't know yet.
Ponte listo.
Is it let's make a deal?
Ponte los afueros a ti. Muchas gracias por tu cooperación. ¿Qué tengo, mi joven?
If that guy's not central casting, I'm Santa Claus. Look at this. Oh, what? We invisible? Wait a minute, what's going on here?
Those men are CFS. Officers of the Federal Security Commission. They're like your CIA.
Oh, come on. What about the punk with all the gold? He's like off a trafficker recruitment post.
I will call Mexico City for instructions.
I gotta know who you're calling.
Foreigners are not allowed to enter this area, senor.
It's a communication center for the U.S.-Mexican drug eradication program. It was paid for by us.
Those are my orders. Excuse me.
It's a good start.
¡Va en guardia!
No!
You letting him fly on? You and I both know what's going on around here, and you're just letting him fly away.
We made a mistake. We let them get too big.
Chacho! Next time, bring better weapons, not toys! Shout!
Open the door.
No, no way. No.
Open the door.
Reyes gave the plane a green light.
Wait a minute, did you see who was on the plane?
Yeah, with all that golden militia, he's a dope! A woman got on board. She wasn't happy about it at all. She's about 17 years old, real hot. That sounds like Mariana Morello. Caro Quintero. I thought you said there was a warrant outstanding on this guy.
Well, there is, but Pablo Reyes let him fly out of here.
Harley.
Here to make sure that everything that can be done will be done, Mrs. Camarena.
I appreciate that, Mr. Mullen. Ricky and I also appreciated your call. It was more than Mr. Galliard thought to do. I don't know why you even bothered to come.
It was nice meeting you.
Yes. Well, Enrique, if there's ever a time you have to talk to me, you tell Mr. Steinmetz and I'll be there. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
We were supposed to transfer to San Diego in 3 weeks. Kiki wouldn't ask for an expedited transfer. He was worried enough leaving Harley and Tony to handle the work by themselves. No one should be surprised that something like this has happened. Any of us could have been killed at any time. It was in the air, especially after they machine-gunned Stephen Matson's car. They seemed to be able to get away with anything. They have free run of the city. The man had to go around unarmed because the embassy never pursued getting them diplomatic status. If they carried handguns, they were breaking Mexican law and could be arrested. It was all in Kiki's reports.
I wasn't aware of those reports.
I felt some of the conclusions of the field agents took too narrow a view. In any case.
Mr. Galliard seems to be more concerned about the sensitivities of the Mexican government than he does about the safety of his agents in the field.
Mrs. Camarena, I will look into Kiki's reports, all the reports.
Mr. Mullen, I know the Mexican government can find Kiki if they have the will to do it, and if the orders come from high enough. I want Kiki back. Or I want his body back. If the worst has happened, I want justice. I want his killers found and punished. My sons must not think their father died for nothing. Not for nothing. All I ask is, please, don't let my husband become a number.
Kiki, we're close, huh?
Well, if you mean am I personally involved? Absolutely. I mean, it's like they grabbed my brother.
You know, standard procedure, Harley, is like pull you from running this operation. You're frustrated and very angry. How in the hell are you going to maintain objectivity to do this job? How are you going to do it?
Because I'm a lawman, sir. I'm a professional. Now, look, I know the territory better than anybody else will. I'm pleading with you. Please, don't take me off the case. Nothing is going to get in the way of doing the best job possible, and I am the only man for the job.
I could depend on that, Harley?
Absolutely.
I'll pull you off. You start losing it.
Yes, sir.
All right, Paul Fuller, get the state moving on diplomatic immunity so you can be armed. Clean house another time. Right now, I only want to hear about Camarena. How do you see it?
Well, I see it as reaction to Chihuahua and Zaragoza. I mean, anything this big, any way you cut it. The kidnapping of Kiki and Zavala, it couldn't have happened without major collusion. The traffickers had to know about it. That means Ernesto Fonseca, Angel Felix Guiarda, Rafael Caro Quintero. That means Ballesteros. That means Coche Loco. That means all of them.
Well, then, these are the people we lean on. It's the only rescue strategy there is, right?
Well, sir, we've been trying that, but our problem is Pavon Reyes.
Any explanation why Pavon Reyes let Quintero fly out?
No, not at all. But I tell you, you give me someone like Commandante Ventura, I'd have it cleaned up in a minute. I mean, he's ex-head of Interpol.
We asked. They won't assign him. Pavon Reyes is all we got now, but Mexico City is guaranteed action.
¡Dale, va! ¡A la derecha! ¡Yo voy a la izquierda! ¡Rápido, rápido! ¡Espera! ¡La puerta! ¡La puerta! ¡Rompe la puerta! ¡Agárrate! ¡Cuidado! ¡Cuidado! ¡Cuidado, muchachos! ¡Busquen arriba! ¡Vamos, vamos!
Next time, why don't you hire a brass band? You know, you guys are about as subtle as the Soviets invading Prague. I'm telling you, if there's anybody in that house, they'd have heard us a mile away.
We have to alert the other traffic on the road, senor. Who are you to tell us how to do our job?
All right, let's just get on with it. Only next time, save the music, all right?
Steinmetz. Yeah. This is the last house without search warrants.
What? They mean search warrant.
Search warrants, senor. We will need search warrants.
Come on. Every time I've been in Mexico, I've never known a federale or a state policeman to need a search warrant.
Absolutely, senor. Those are my orders.
No cars, no radios, now search warrants.
Want to know something? We're trying to make some progress, and you're really not helping us very much, are you?
My friend, we are under a strict directive. Everything we do must be legal and must be cleared with Portago Diaz or the Attorney General's office first.
Why don't we just forget the directives? We're trying to find a man.
You don't think we lose men every single day?
One of your men stays out late one night, and you come down here like you are Batman? How do you know he was kidnapped? The man is probably sunning his ass on a beach in Miami with his girlfriend.
Hey!
I think maybe you should keep your men quiet.
Why? Maybe what they say is the truth. And maybe you should listen.
No, you tell us the truth. Who signed your bonus checks? Who paid you to let Caro Quintero fly away?
You? You slander my reputation?
You did one hell of a job of that all on your own.
Come on, let's
go. Come on, Harley.
Come on. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to talk on the phone. Listen, I'm at the local. Just get here fast. I think we got our first witness.
All right, I'll be there. Let's go. Come on.
Señor. ¿Los viste?
Sí, eran dos policías enfrente del consulado de los Estados Unidos.
¿En uniforme o civil?
Civil, con armas. Sí, 4 hombres y un Volkswagen Atlantic.
Okay, 4 men in a VW Atlantic and they're struggling. Now, maybe I didn't ask him right. I asked him if he reported it.
No, he said the same thing to me.
Is he sure no? ¿Estás seguro?
Sí, estoy seguro. Yo los conozco. Trajeron armas, armas grandes.
Oh, yeah, he recognized it.
It was the police, man.
Mr. Steinmetz, can you answer a few questions?
I don't have any comment. The only press releases come from Washington, all right?
There is great activity and concern in Guadalajara over missing DEA agent Enrique Camarena, now feared kidnapped by drug traffickers right here outside the American consulate.
Your witness is sure.
Yeah, state police. Now, see, that would fit because a lot of times they serve as muscle to the traffickers.
What are the federales doing?
Well, we're going through the motions. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of daylight between what Mexico City has guaranteed you and what they're delivering.
If Portago Diaz was sincere, he'd send ex-Premier Comandante Florentino Ventura.
Any progress of any kind?
Well, no arrests. The only interrogations we've done have been by our own people on our own initiative. We are nowhere. And where the hell does that put Kiki?
The president is, of course, aware of the Camarena situation. Do you know how personally he feels about these things? He would send in the Marines if he could.
But he's not going to.
Mr. Long, we understand your concerns for your agents. Our hearts go out to Mrs. Camarena and those children.
We appreciate those concerns, but my main concern is what's going to be done.
We have to consider the full spectrum of the issues. Now, Mexico is our 3rd largest trading partner. Mexico's an integral part of our Latin American foreign policy vis-a-vis Cuba and Nicaragua. Mexican sensitivities are important to us in so many ways, such as the... So State has helped to draft a note which the President is going to send to President de la Madrid of Mexico, stating his concern and thanking the President for his personal interest in this case.
Sir, a U.S. federal agent has been abducted, kidnapped. We suspect by Mexican policemen in the pay of drug traffickers. And you're sending a note?
We think it is the proper signal.
Signal? This requires a baseball bat, not a signal.
Jack, I know what you're trying to say, but there's something you should consider. I'm in a better position to do something outrageous. Jack, I'm retiring in 2 weeks. I can take the heat from Washington, but you've got to be careful. You've got to stay here and deal with the bureaucracy.
The hell with bureaucracy. If I can't speak up when one of my men is in trouble, I won't be able to look at myself in the mirror.
You know, Washington's going to go nuts. What we're about to do is an anathema.
But they're closing us down in Mexico. And our foreign policy and the national trade agenda are closing us down in Washington. As usual, we're alone. We've got nowhere to go, and we're out of time. I'm beginning to really understand what our guys in Mexico have been going through.
All right. Okay.
To be kidnapped by other policemen, doubtlessly in the pay of traffickers, it's turned the world of drug enforcement upside down.
And how would you characterize the Mexican government's anti-drug campaign?
Failure as well as phony. When our efforts really started to hurt, or when it looked as though we might be getting too close to the major traffickers, they backed off. To put things in perspective, there hasn't been a major trafficker arrested in Mexico for the past 8 years.
Well, this is the last thing I want to do.
Better watch your back, Harley. These guys will eat you up if they can, you know?
The State Department hadn't listened to us in 10 years. Maybe this will get their attention.
Well, if you go in the air with this thing, Gilliard's gonna put you on the next bus to Laredo. You know that, don't you?
Oh, hell, Tony, my career's been over anyway. You know, I poked my finger in Gilliard's eye too many times already.
You want me to go with you?
It'd be my date.
Anytime.
Harlan Steinmetz, I'm resident agent in charge of Guadalajara.
Who do you think you're Mr. Steinmetz,
have you found?
The top item on the agenda for both the State Department and the White House is Nicaragua, keeping the Mexican government from tilting toward the Sandinistas. The Treasury's afraid Mexico will default on the $25 billion it owes American banks. DEA's concerns seem pretty far down the list. Where is the war on drugs, Mr. Steinmetz? And if Guadalajara really is the front line, how come we only had 4 soldiers here?
Well, we finally got ourselves a good question.
La voz de Guadalajara. Senor Steinmetz, what kind of evidence does DEA have that top-level people in the government are involved in the drug trade?
Well, the street value of the Sensimilla destroyed at Chihuahua was $2.5 billion U.S. And, well, we destroyed about 5,000 to 10,000 tons of marijuana. That's tons. Now, Caro Quintero probably had $20 million of his own money, his own cash invested in this deal. And it's pretty obvious that the traffickers, they can't operate at this kind of level without owning a piece of the government at some high level. That's because the local cops, see, they just can't guarantee protection.
What about the military and the Federal Security Commission? Our reporting suggests extensive collaboration with the traffickers.
Well, we don't have access to wiretaps, we don't have access to bank accounts, but I don't know, I'd say you're on the right track.
One of the suspects, one of the traffickers involved in the kidnapping, was spotted in an aircraft leaving Guadalajara Saturday night. He was stopped by the Mexican police and then allowed to leave.
What's his name?
His name is Rafael Caro Quintero. Now, that's it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Get me Willie Von Raub, Customs on the secure line.
Conference is now over.
Yes. Nowhere. All we're getting is stiffed in Mexico and sideswiped here with agendas and policies.
No surprise to me, but it certainly is an outrage.
Willie, I really need some help from Customs. I really do.
Listen, just tell me what you want, anything, and you've got it.
Relativo a la desaparición del agente americano Enrique Camarena, reportes de San Isidro indican que los esfuerzos...
Von Grab is making us look like fools. It plays right into the hands of the opposition parties. They're all over the news today screaming about corruption. We're already in trouble with the governor's races in the north, and now this. What Farm Workers' March? Smash it, but be careful. There is too many television cameras around.
U.S. Customs agents are continuing their intensive search for an American narcotics agent who was kidnapped in Guadalajara, Mexico, more than a week ago. But Mexican officials today criticized one part of the search, the detailed inspection of cars entering the United States from Mexico. Since Friday, motorists at the busiest border crossing, that's San Ysidro near San...
It's all being done for Dad. Does that make him famous?
Something a lot more useful and famous. That makes him important.
Yeah.
¿Ves? Caray, este camello como que respinga muy fuerte.
Sí, amigo, pero en el desierto no podría sobrevivir sin él.
Sí, pero ya me tiene bien mareado.
Para que no te marees, ¿por qué no viajas por un río pacífico como el Nilo?
¿Y se puede viajar lejos por el Nilo?
Mira el mapa. El Nilo es el río más largo del mundo, 6.400 kilómetros.
¿El río más largo del mundo? 6.400.
Agentes aduaneros estadounidenses han detenido vehículos a lo largo de la frontera mexicana desde California hasta Texas en un esfuerzo para encontrar al agente federal que ha sido secuestrado y a un grupo de terroristas colombianos. Algunos de los vehículos en cuestión fueron detenidos durante 9 horas en la frontera que cuenta 1.700 millas de largo.
If they're smart, they'll keep Camarena disappeared. They could generate this information. He ran away with money to Rio. We've got him undercover. They could Vegas out forever. We can't let that happen.
Then I've got to find a way to convince them that their only way out of this mess is to produce them.
That's the trick.
That's the trick.
This way, please.
It's a great tragedy about the disappearance of your agent.
And Zavala.
Zavala? Zavala was a traitor. We are not interested in him.
I thought he was a soldier in the war on drugs, Oswaldo.
There are also strong nationalistic feelings about these issues, such as our banditos are just that, ours, not yours.
So why aren't you catching yours?
Some of our younger officers are reluctant due to their fear of the traffickers.
Oswaldo, who's running this country, you or a bunch of gun-happy banditos from Sinaloa?
Policemen fighting the narco-traficantes disappeared. A few weeks ago, 4 federales, family men like Camarena, were ambushed near Colima. We accept the consequences. Are their lives worth less than one American?
Absolutely not. But Americans don't like unsolved mysteries, unresolved issues. I think the extreme media reaction has to do, Oswaldo, with not knowing what happened to him.
And what if he's never found?
My country is still reacting to the Vietnam War MIAs. Missing in action. They think of Camarena the same way. See, Oswaldo, there's something about missing in action where somebody's gone and you don't know what happened. It's like an open wound. It upsets people terribly. But I believe if Camarena were found tomorrow, if we knew what happened, we would celebrate his homecoming or mourn our loss, and then we would go on with our lives.
Hold it. You can wait here. I need to see the I understand. We can just wait right here. Harley?
Tony, it's all right, thanks.
Buenos dias.
Howdy.
We have received an anonymous note about where Senor Camarena is being held.
Well, we've got an awful lot of anonymous tips, and none of them was worth a damn.
We have great reason to believe this note is authentic. He's being held in Michoacan, at the Rancho El Mareno, owned by a man named Manuel Bravo. As you can see, the writer says they have seen Camarena there. But if he is not alive, his body will be found in the orchard.
Well, I never heard anybody called Bravo or their connection to traffickers, and tell me something, what's this mean, if he's alive?
Senor, Manuel Bravo Cervantes is a rancher and a politician. But we have confidential information that he is also an arms trafficker. We will assault the ranch tomorrow. We leave at 8 in the morning. We take this note very seriously, and we believe Camarena will be there. Adios.
Now, wait a minute. Where the hell is everybody?
Hey, gone. Gone? The troops left 2 hours ago, senor.
Now, wait a minute. We're told to be here at 8 o'clock. A las 8, and it's 1:45. Now, where the hell are they?
A helicopter is taking los periodistas to Michoacan. You may go with them if you like.
No, los periodistas. What reporters?
The one's going to Michoacan. Will senores care for some coffee while you wait?
No. Usually you can't get these guys off their butts, and today they're early? Damn, tell me Pablo and Reyes didn't have something to do with this.
On the inside. Looks like a hit. Ladies and men. Not now. Get out of here. Move
Señor Comandante, tell us what is happening here in your own words.
Unfortunately, the family did not respect our orders to surrender and began to shoot. Our men were forced to fire in self-defense. During the battle, the women came in a car full of ammunition. They have been arrested and are now under questioning. Regrettably, we have lost one federal, Jorge Escobar, from Sinaloa, who died a brave man in service of his country.
What about Camarena?
No, senor, we did not find Camarena.
All right, when are your men going to search the orchard?
My men are busy. They are policemen, not farmers.
What are these news photographers doing here, huh? What do they want? You set this thing up? How about the reporters? What are you looking for, huh? We've had dozens of tips, all of them been worthless, and yet you couldn't wait to be here. You tell me what. No, I mean it. I get tired of you lying to me, Commandante. This whole thing stinks.
You remember you are a guest in this country.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, that's right.
You raided and shot these people and killed them.
To be here.
And they're innocent, man. Okay, you tell them. I tell you something. You tell them. You tell the news people how Senora Bravo got shot in the back, huh? Right ahead. Why don't you ask questions? Go talk to him. Ask him how she got shot in the back. Ask him. Hey, Commandante, how'd that happen? Ándale. Tony, let's go home.
Los cuerpos llegaron en evidente estado de putrefacción, quizá de 4 o 5 días de haber muerto.
No! No!
Encontraron los cuerpos.
Why was it necessary to call in FBI forensic experts to identify Camarena Salazar?
So we can make a positive ID from the dental records of the remains to see the bodies were very decomposed.
Well, Comandante Pavon Reyes said the bodies are Camarena and Zavala.
Well, I'm one of Kiki's best friends, and I couldn't tell. You know, I'd kind of like to ask Comandante Pavon Reyes how the hell he could be so sure that the corpses were the remains of Camarena and Zavala. Huh? How'd you know it was Kiki, Comandante?
Comandante, do you have a comment on that?
Come on, we're all waiting for your answer. How the hell did you know?
Sir, did you identify them immediately? Was there some forensic evidence that you could share with them?
One question, sir.
Oígame.
Jack, was it Kiki? Yeah.
How bad? What does it mean what they did?
Could you just excuse us for a minute? Un momento, por favor. Please, come on.
For the tribute, please.
His body was extensively violated, Mr. Steinmetz. His skull alone was like broken eggshell.
Remains that we examined are those of the agent Enrique Camarena and Alfredo Zavala Avelar. Both men were brutally tortured and murdered.
My condolences, Mr. Giuliano.
There'll be no further announcement at this time.
Sir, exactly where were the bodies? Do you have any...
Harley, what happened?
Well, it was him.
Sorry.
Thanks.
I'm sorry for you, too.
This is one of the saddest days for this agency I can ever recall. A friend, a comrade, a brother has been lost, betrayed by other lawmen whom he trusted. We're not going to forget that. However long it takes, it is going to be a priority to bring his killers and their co-conspirators to justice. Now it's time for him to come home.
Mr. Lone called. He spoke to Ricky, too. May I have this?
Sure.
I remember how happy Kiki was that day. He wouldn't stop talking about how he had busted the biggest marijuana plantation he had ever seen. You would have thought he had broken the bank at Monte Carlo. Three more weeks. That was all. Why couldn't they have left us alone? We're going to have the mass at Our Lady of Guadalupe in Calexico. It's the same church Kiki and I were married in. I remember after Stephen's car was machine gunned, I remember how afraid I was. But Kiki said, you can't run away from it. If you can't face it, you might as well do something else. I borrowed courage from him. Where do I get my courage from now?
Enrique Camarena went to Mexico to fight the international drug trade, and in the end, it killed him.
Today, Kiki Camarena returned to the United States. Full military honors. Tomorrow, there will be a memorial service in Calexico. Frank Burkholzer, NBC News, Calexico, California.
Because grace and mercy are with his holy ones, and his care is with his elect.
In Ecclesiastes, we're reminded that to everything there is a season, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn. For all of us here who worked with Kiki, who knew him, who loved him, this is a season out of time.
Our brother has gone to his rest in the peace of Christ. With faith and hope in eternal life, let us commend him to the loving mercy of our Father and assist him with our prayers.
Dios mío, ¿por qué, mis hijitos?
through so much. Now he's as free as the wind.
If he doesn't open up on Atanasio right away, it means he's having second thoughts about his end of the deal. Give me a sign, and I'll threaten to enhance the conspiracy charge with illegal possession of a sawed-off shotgun.
Ray, Mr. Lone wants you to call right away.
Jack Lawn's office, please.
Who's calling, please?
It's Ray Carson.
How's tricks, Ray?
Fine, Jack.
How would you like to travel to a foreign country to run a homicide investigation at the peril of your life, with no power whatsoever to collect evidence, subpoena witnesses, or arrest anybody?
How soon can I leave?
Item 6. The bodies were found exposed and covered by only a few inches of dirt. No animal or insect bites were on the remains. The bodies had been moved from a deep grave burial site to the location where they were found. Item 7. Soil samples taken from the bodies were analyzed as a black volcanic ash that is unique to the Primavera Park area on the outskirts of Guadalajara. However, they were found in an incompatible red clay soil area near the Bravo Ranch. Conclusion, they were buried in Primavera Park, then removed, and then reburied at the Bravo Ranch. Item 8. Body number 1, later identified as Agent Camarena, had multiple fractures of the skull, the jaw and the ribs, a broken right arm, and numerous internal organs had been violated. Number 2 had multiple fractures, a gaping jaw, and torn wrist bindings indicate that the man might have been buried alive. Item 9. The Mexican authorities positively identified the remains as Camarena and Zavala, even though the bodies were so decomposed, a forensic examination was necessary to make a positive ID from dental records. Conclusion, certain Mexican authorities who knew the bodies' identities worked in collusion with the perpetrators in the removal and the transportation. Do we have lights, please?
We were supposed to find Kiki and Zavala in the orchard. They weren't there for a reason as prosaic as the man bringing them from Primavera Park was probably late. He probably saw the activity at the ranch, panicked, dumped the bodies at the side of the road, and got out of the area.
And an entire family was massacred to sell the lie that these people did it. Case closed. Stop the bad press.
If they were smarter about it, they'd have kept Kiki disappeared. Without a body, there would have been no fact a crime was committed. As it is, we have the homicide of a U.S. official. We have a law that says you can't kill U.S. officials. If you do, you've committed a federal crime, and we will indict you and then seize you and your co-conspirators anywhere in the world and bring you back for trial. So, I've asked for a U.S. grand jury to indict those responsible for Camarena's murder. Its investigative arm is Ray Carson. He'll do a classic homicide investigation.
My first objective is to gather as much physical evidence as possible. And another thing, I'll be working independently of the Mexican government.
Harley's group will continue to work with the Mexican government in the manhunt for Kiki's killers.
But I do think it's meaningless without someone like Comandante Florentino Ventura being here.
He is with us. Given their embarrassment over Bravo Ranch, Mexico City couldn't refuse me.
All right. It sounds like we're finally going to have a Mexican-American effort. That's what it sounds like.
Manos arriba. Ahí queda. Quédense ahí. Cae.
What the hell is this?
Pavon Reyes, you're under arrest. The charge is corruption.
I am a comandante, and I demand to be allowed to call my superiors in Mexico City.
Your superiors already talked to me of you. They said, what a pity about Pavon. He's such a disappointment to us. Ándale.
¡Traidor! ¡Canalla! ¡Te llevo a ti también! ¡Véngase! ¡Policía! ¿Qué pasa aquí? ¡No! ¡Déjame! ¡Voy a pagar! ¡Los mexicanos! ¿Ah? ¡Mexicanos! ¡Nos vas a pagar que nos vamos un día! ¡Nos vamos un día! ¡Vamos! ¡Ven, fight! ¡Muévete, loco! ¡Allá va! ¡Alto! ¡Alto! ¡Alto, disparo! ¡Alto! ¡Allá va! ¡Vámonos! ¡Anda, anda! ¡Ahí se metió! ¡Vamos! ¡Allá va! ¡No me disparé! ¡Allá va! ¡Vamos! ¡Por otro lado, vamos! ¡Quítale! ¡Ahora sí! ¡Tira la pistola! ¡Ocho!
No me empujas así, cabrón. No tienes que... ¡Hey! ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué, traidor? ¿Por qué?
No te muevas.
$5 million American money. 13 bedrooms.
Now, I like this place. Do you like it? Hmm? So?
Here's the keys. It's yours. If you like this place that much, I'll buy you the country. It's only a small country, huh? Mamones, how much can a small country be?
The place is called La Quinta. It sold for $1.5 million in cash. So we went looking for Colombians. But the phone tap turned up Mexicans. Then an informant told us Mariana Morello, the girl Caro Quintero abducted in Guadalajara, was seen. If she's there.
You're right. Caro Quintero might be there. Now listen, he spots you, he's gone. Now how long is it gonna take you to get a warrant?
You're positive? You really believe this man at La Quinta is Rafael Caro Quintero?
Yes, Mr. Minister, we do.
And if you capture him, then what?
There's an outstanding warrant for the arrest of Caro Quintero in Mexico. Mexico has a very strong case for extradition.
Not the United States.
The federal grand jury to indict him would take too long.
But extradition with Mexico is also involved. There are hearings, bail procedure.
Well, you know, then he's gonna slip away.
Perhaps. But as the protector of public security, I adhere to the law of the land very rigidly.
You tell me, okay? Isn't he also a threat to the security of this country?
We can guarantee if Caro Quintero remains in Costa Rica, he's going to bring in an army of thugs just like he had in Mexico. Costa Rica will become a transit point for the drug traffickers. It'll be Guadalajara all over again.
That's a promise.
If his continued presence is a threat to the public safety of the country, I could deport him on that ground by my authority and the concurrence of the president. Assuming that, what will you need?
The Costa Rican anti-terrorist team.
There is great danger that innocent people or Costa Rican officers could be killed.
If I authorize this, I'll be placing my career at risk. Probably my life.
You're asking me to take a big chance for the sake of capturing this man. Are you aware of that?
We recognize the risk you'll be taking. It's very courageous, Minister.
All right. But our Constitution does not allow warrants to be signed at night. And warrants can only be served the day they are signed.
What does that mean?
You cannot search the house or make the arrest tonight. It must be during daylight.
Dawn?
Dawn is good.
Dawn's very good.
Go ahead.
Hey, Tony, what's up now?
Nothing before you go in, over.
The judge has to wait for Dawn to sign the warrant, so at Dawn's first light, we go in.
Only you know I'm duty-bound to inform
You that there's a little amendment you're gonna have to deal with. Over.
Right, the Mansfield Amendment, but look, I know we're not supposed to be involved in armed conflict, but Harley, we can't ask these guys to take all the risks and say call us when it's over.
Now, adhere to Mansfield. And you let them go in first. Over.
All right, they're starting to move their cover positions. Now, Harley, can them be defined as just one of them? Over.
Absolutely. Over.
And first can mean as long as it's before us, right? I mean, regardless of the interval. Over.
Yeah. Over.
You got it.
An hour and a half till sunup.
What's happening, Tony?
Waiting on the sun.
¿Quién vive en la casa?
Yo no conozco a la gente.
¿Cuántos mexicanos?
8. 7 hombres y una mujer.
He says there...
The guy said there's 7 men.
Can't hear. Say again, Tony.
He says there are 7 men and a woman. Over.
It's about time we got lucky.
Tony, come on. The sun is up here. How soon? Over?
Ain't up here yet, Harley. Costa Rica's a couple of minutes west. What can I tell you?
Any minute now.
Vamos. El sol sale. Come on!
Vámonos. Let's go!
We're going in.
Oh, man, I can hear him blowing the doors.
¡Sube la escalera! ¡Ahí voy! ¡De atrás! ¡Ahí está!
Tony! Tony!
¡Dale, dale, vamos! ¡A la derecha! ¡Yo voy a la izquierda! ¡Arriba, deme! ¡Las escaleras! ¡La puerta! ¡La puerta! ¡Rompe la puerta! ¡Cuidado! ¡No, muchachos! ¡Busquen arriba!
Tony, what's your status? Come on back, Tony! Who's that?
What's your name?
Juan.
Jose.
Juan. Jose.
There's a bunch of damned original minds around here.
What's going on?
Harley, we don't know if we got him or not.
¡Arriba todos! ¡Se muevan! ¡Busca allá! ¡No te muevas! ¡Gente! ¡Ahora tú! ¡No se muevan, no se muevan! ¡Manos arriba! ¡Ándale! ¡Ya lo tengo! ¡Véngase!
Who are you?
Marco Antonio Ríos Valenzuela.
Now, let's try again. What is your name?
Marco Antonio Ríos Valenzuela.
Is it him?
I don't know. I got 2 lousy surveillance pictures, a mugshot.
Mariana. ¿Quién es? Who is that? It's okay, it's okay. You can tell us and then you go home, I promise. Su familia, su madre, ¿sí? Mariana, ¿quién es?
Caro Quintero.
Don?
¡Morirás! ¡Puta! ¡Cabrona! Because I'm face to face with some sorry son of a bitch who calls himself Rafael Caro Quintero.